not do this. There's more here for us. And that jerking back is more sensation, more symptoms, more injuries, because towards those is how you find yourself. Towards those is how you actually break free. Okay, so training. Here's my definition. You can write this and put it on a fucking plaque. Okay. I want you to literally start to think about this because it's literally universal across the board. And then what you do with this covers all human beings. Ready? And this has taken me 25 years to create this. Training is preparing your body to manage the forces of your life through deliberate, focused movements at varying degrees of intensities and volumes from your hands to your feet every single day. Done. Now, when you go into that, what did we just do that nobody else, that just demolishes all industries in training or rehab? Training is preparing your body. Stop. Your body and somebody else's body are not the same. So we can't do the same thing. Can't have the same program. Can't be on the same plan. That's why shoulder protocols or knee protocols or speed protocols or football protocols, gone. And your body last week versus your body now. That's why people who test for strength on one day and then base everything off of that strength test, that's tough because you aren't that person back then. And you're going to have to meet whoever you are because some days you're going to be heavy. Some days you're going to be light. Some days you're going to be drawn. Some days you're going to be open. Some days you're going to be fucking raging. And some days you're going to be horny. And some days you're going to be tired. And some days you're going to be exhausted and burned and symptomatic. And yeah. So again, your body is the defining character of training. You keep finding yourself in it, just like nourishment. It's endless, light, endless, breath, endless. We just keep going into it. Now watch this. Training to prepare your body. Training is an essential of the human to create independence. Would you agree? Just like we trained when we were little, guided by ourselves, it was to get to levels of independence. Mom, I can go to the bathroom by myself. Great, honey. I can feed myself. I can entertain myself. I can protect myself, Mom and Dad. I can get myself there. I can earn my own way, Mom, Dad, right? It was a way to create independence. So, do you think you're creating independence by going to a gym and constantly having a program or in a class? Again, am I creating dependent human beings or independent human beings when they're coming to my office? Even though I'm doing it unlike anybody else, now I'm really doing it unlike anybody else. We're fostering this independence because that's what you ultimately want, right? That's what who's in the chair experiencing the audience of my talk, of the audience of their life? You're the only one sitting in that seat. So you're the only one feeling what you're feeling. You're the only one that knows your body going through. You're only one that's your body's talking to you first and then talking to everybody else next. You're the only one that's going to be able to make changes. You're the only one that's going to accept full blame, full fault, full accountability. Nobody else. So this independent acquisition starts and ends. We started it as children. We were supposed to continue on, but then what did we do? What does the world want? They want us dependent on fucking everything. They want us dependent on schools, on church, on law, on food, on security, on financial, on everything, medicine. Like depend on this. Medication, procedure, screening, herbs, supplements, practitioner, practitioner, and then your fucking family. Dependent. Just everybody depend on the other person to do it for them, to protect them, to take care of them. Like that is a choice. And again, this whole thing, if you choose to do that, that's cool too. But you're going to have to understand the cost of what your body wants because your body wants freakish independence. That's why it fought as a child. That's why the little baby like climbs out of barriers. It breaks through all the time. You cannot stop that. Like life is just bursting out into independence. And then through that interconnectivity, because that would be taking an assignment from somebody and you're trying to create independence, not dependence, right? You'll see some stuff. All right. You won't do them like that person because you're going to do your own. You won't do the number that that person said because that would be taking an assignment from somebody and you're trying to create independence, not dependence, right? Okay, rules of training. Ready? These are critical. We're trying to gain independence. That means you're training alone. That means you are training on your own. Um, I was training yesterday and someone was trying to walking by and tried to get my attention, and I wasn't. I was in the middle of a training move, and I kind of felt bad, but then I'm like, no, because if that person was driving to their chemotherapy appointment and they were late, and I stopped them and wanted to interrupt them, wouldn't they be like, I'm sorry, I can't, like, I gotta get to my appointment. It would be the most important thing for them, right? They wouldn't miss it. Nor would they interrupt it. Like, hey, could you take this out of my arm? I would just like to talk over there. No, 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 no. I'm going and doing this medicinal input. More medication for them, but they'll figure it out later that it is their version of medicine when they leave it. So when I'm training, that is as serious as me going and getting chemo if I thought that was of value. That's the level of intention I want you to have around your training. It's not something you just fit in. That's bullshit. It's all over. You would never just fit in a loved one. You would never just fit in your kid's time. I hope not. You would never just fit in things that you love to do. I hope not. Like things that you really care about, you prioritize. This is dealing with the tissue that allows you to manage anything you want to prioritize. This has to be priority number one. As soon as you wake up in the day, it doesn't mean train, but you're thinking about where you can fit your training in your day because everything is dependent on your ability to manage the forces and energy of your life. It has to be number one. And that's not because I'm a fanatic of training. I think we've made it very clear why I have challenged that and why the body's like, all right, why I can do it in a hospital room. First thing, wheeled into that room. I don't have clothes and I'm fucking training. And so again, you're going into these areas to expand them even more. You have to be bad. If you're good, you're not changing. And that's why again, top athletes excelled. They loved when they lost because they learned the most when they lost. And then when they won, they learned when they won. They never sat back on a win. They were always like, all right, if I would have gotten that 5, the changes in me would be way less than what just happened with me on that bar. I negotiated with myself. I was ready to bail. I had this internal dialogue and this total back and forth. And I came back, pulled it with my body, and went and produced a 416. Did I get 5? No. But in that failure of that test came more growth and application that I'll be able to apply moving forward than the 5. And if I would have gotten the 5, I, with this rule, would have been like, okay, 6 6 in a month or 6 in fucking 10 days or whatever my reality would be. I have to then set another bar to be bad at to keep going. And that's the deal. You have to be bad at training. So these patterns, you're going to do them in a way that you're not good at them. And what that does is also gets the power of failure, gets you to learn um, how to be calm when things aren't going your best way. It's how to like sit in the face of adversity. You're like, oh, I got this. I've failed a gajillion times. I can handle this. That's the thing. But when you're always successful and training people, you could tell how they were in the world. CEOs could never fail. When we were trained CEOs or CIOs or CCOs or whatever the hell they are, they would never let themselves fail. They would like squirm and do all this shit and have this like panic. And it was just like, oh my God, you will do whatever's necessary, even if it's just like you're not even writing your name anymore. You're just like writing letters and just spilling all over the place. Stop. You're not even fucking doing. What do you? They could not fail. They had never failed in their office. Nobody tells them stuff. They don't fault. And if they do, they blame somebody. Like easy. The other were certain athletes. They would be failing and they'd get up and like panic and do all this stuff. Like, what are you doing? Get back down. Go harness what your body's doing in this failure process. And these were the people that you'd see as soon as the court or field would deliver an opportunity and they had to stay the course, they would lose their shit. They'd change their shoes, they'd change, they would immediately blame, 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 and try to find something outside that they can change. So again, the power of failure, but we need to have a way of training to failure that's safe. Because again, as you understand it, I'm sure in your mind, you're like, but if I fail on how ways I was training before, I'm going to crush myself or I'm going to hurt myself. And we're going to show you how you can fail, or you're going to get very creative on how to training. The definition of training, you remember it. It's preparing your body to manage the forces of your life through deliberate, focused movements between hands and feet at varying degrees of intensities, varying degrees of details. Training, by definition, you will never want to do. Why? And if you follow these rules, you absolutely won't want to do it. Excuse me, because you fail, because it's to your nervous system, your body thoughts, it's a threat. When I'm hanging, what do you think my brain and nervous system are thinking? Fuck. What's my body thinking? Oh, shit. Shift. Brain and nervous system are like, Jesus. But my mind has to come in and go, but they are freaking out like it's death. So it's trauma. And that's the point. We have predictable trauma. So the body assesses, evaluates, amplifies, sends out blood, growth, bone, nerves, ligaments, discs, lymph, everything. Thoughts, breaks limits, breaks fear, breaks all this stuff. You understand more about yourself. It'll rewire things. Like that's the point. And then guess what? What do you do when it reaches this level? You do it all again and you push it and threaten it. Like, damn. So again, you will never want to train because of that fact. It's the only essential that really is sitting there that you just do. The others, like nourishment, we're enjoying this, and there's so much more play and light. We can be kind of, it's